Welcome. I'd like to call to order the Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. I'd like to start it with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Citizens input. I don't see anybody up there. Are you good, Rich? You're good? Okay, skip right over that one. Next, administration. Mr. O'Mara.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This past March, warrant article 14 was approved by the voters. It directed us to deposit $200,000 from the unassigned fund balance into the highway construction revolving fund. That check has yet to be executed, signed by the treasurer, and a review of the statutes has indicated that the Board of Selectmen can issue directives to the treasurer. And in fact, the treasurer's position can only be responsive to the Board of Selectmen. I think it's Conservation, a Heritage Commission, but a select groups, committees in town can direct the treasurer to direct funds, for lack of a better term. And at this point, the check is unsigned. So I'm hoping that this evening that you will make a public motion to instruct the treasurer to sign the check and make the deposit consistent with the will of the voters in March.
I agree.
So with that said, I move to instruct the treasurer and/or deputy treasurer to sign check number 25575 in the amount of $200,000 and deposit same in the highway construction revolving fund.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe A.
Bless you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The next item for your consideration is the Recreation Coordinator position. Last night, the Rec Commission met. I attended on behalf of the board, and regrettably, I volunteered to do the recruitment. But we need to move forward on that, and I just wanted to give you an update that currently there is no salary established, no office space, but it's going to be a raw recruitment, and I'm looking to go to some of the local universities to see if anybody is majoring or minoring in community recreation. And they might be interested in filling the slot immediately and maybe following up in subsequent years. But as we all know, this is a part-time position, primarily focused on the summertime, and it's designed to expand the current programming.
And to add to that, I think that when you do start recruiting, I can honestly see without a summer rec program in place, I'm fine with them working from home.
Okay.
So that's not going to be so that it just so you know, when you do your recruitment, that working from home is okay, because I don't see any need for it to be in here. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, they need to be available to us, but not in the sense that they need to have an office here. Not yet. We're not at that point.
So you do not envision that the person who accepts the responsibilities to be physically on site at, say, the beach or Granny Park at some point?
I am, but the way the current status quo is,
Yeah.
it's a work from home job.
Agreed.
It's not it's not something that you need to physically be there. I mean, it's obviously needs to be discussed. It's a work from home job, but during events,
Certain
programming, they need to be there. Does that make sense?
It certainly does, and I think the first order of business for whomever decides to take the job is to establish the framework going forward.
Absolutely.
Not
Some nice outline and
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, but you see where I'm going with the whole work from home thing.
Yep.
They don't need an office right now.
Right.
It's not right, exactly. It's not there yet. I mean, if we were to establish programs and certain things that need to be done, then I get that we need somebody here so people can come in and speak to the coordinator. you
Yes.
know? But we're not there yet.
Correct.
Right, so basically, any type of official business that needs to be conducted can be done at home.
But as you stated, it's gonna be required from time to time for that employee to show up and make their presence known and felt at the different participating things that they arrange, whether it's for the kids at Greenie Park, for summer programs, or it's an outing for the elderly, or whatever it may
even
be.
Old Home Day, I would expect, if we hired somebody before then, I would
Right.
expect that rec person to be there every day. and,
Yes,
You know, doing certain things.
yes.
So, I guess that's what I mean. When I say work from home, yes, but then you're there and everything, so.
Yep.
Okay. All right, what do we got next? Manifest?
Before you
Yeah.
do the manifest, and I apologize for not letting you know sooner, I was asked by the Department of Transportation to execute an easement located at 3 Maple Ave related to the Rose Corner reconfiguration that the DOJ is doing. And I haven't heard back from town council. I don't have the authority to sign an easement at all.
Sure.
DOT was under the impression that I did have that authority. And so I told her in an email, absolutely not. I wanted to discuss it with you folks first. And I know it's not a motion that's been contemplated, but to the extent that I'm authorized, you could make a motion authorizing me to execute an easement on behalf of the board to the DOT so they can continue to work on that project at Rose Corner. And I know it's,
That said,
it's,
I make a motion to allow our town administrator to sign on behalf of the town for the easement at 3 Maple Avenue, for the easement for the DOT to participate with their work.
Second.
So, before I vote on this, I do have, I guess, some questions. Like,
Yep.
does this owner know does the owner of 3 Maple Ave know that they're getting it?
We
Or is
own
it our property?
yes, it's all
Okay, then
property.
I'm
I'm
good.
sorry. I
So
should've-
he should have led with that.
yeah.
I don't know, a street,
Tell him it's true.
is it street cleaner? The Mike?
No, it's our landscapers.
Oh,
All right, having known that now, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Thank you.
And just as a side note about that, I did state at an earlier meeting that we had, that I was in communications with Tim, who's running and in charge of that project, that they should be getting, the bids should be out, I think, at this point. They'll be accepting the bids. They're hoping to have somebody locked in by this fall, and that they'll be looking to start that work next year at some point, depending on what that contractor schedule is like. That's why they're looking to get that easement signed at this point.
Sure.
And it's also my understanding, tangentially, Tricia McCarthy has informed me that the land may be under the control of conservation. So although you're the landowners, they're the managers, you've given me the authority to execute an easement, I should have some communication with conservation to let them know what's going on.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be meeting in another week and a half, I believe. Third Wednesday of the month.
Okay. Now you good? We're gonna go on
Thank you.
manifest? Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I move to approve vendor manifest in the amount of $967,193.47 with a pay date of June 4th, 2024. Payment includes $895,158 to Sanborn Regional School and $18,969.34 to Municipal Resources, Inc.
Second,
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All those in favor? Aye. That's unanimous.
I move to approve a withdrawal in the amount of $478.58 from the cable revolving account with a pay date of June 4th, 2024 for an invoice to Hewlett Packard Financial Services.
second,
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor? Aye. That's unanimous.
I move to approve the manifest in the amount of $2,436.85 with a pay date of May 21, 2024. These ACH transactions are the town debit credit card.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All those in favor? Aye. That's unanimous.
I move to approve the manifest in the amount of $18,752.60 with a pay date of May 21, 2024. Payment is to NH Retirement System.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All those in favor? Aye. That's unanimous.
I move to approve the manifest in the amount of $140 with a pay date of May 21, 2024. Payment was to New Hampshire Municipal Association for training.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous.
Go right into the minutes.
Yeah, go right in the minutes. We're good.
I move to approve and accept the public meeting minutes dated May 21, 2024 as written.
Second.
Motion made by Joe, seconded by Joe. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. All right. New business, old business. I don't really have anything. Joe, do you have anything? Bob, you have anything?
No, not really. Everything that we talked about is in motion at this point, so
Okay.
nothing to really discuss.
How's the planning board going?
Good. Still moving along. We're gonna be having that public hearing, will be coming up. What's today's date, the 4th, right? I think the public hearing is going to be, it's either the 11th or might be the 25th of this month for the housing portion of what we've done with Jen and her committee and what they put together to be able to put out there for the public to be able to look at and review. There has been a lot of, like I said, a lot of questionnaires put out there for the people to put their opinions and their wants and needs and how they're looking at how Newton should be addressed and taken care of. And once that's done, we'll be moving on. And then there are some other balls in the air as far as a few other items with all of that. And like I said, so we're 2/3 of the way through with the, I'm gonna have
Master plan?
the master plan. Thank you, Jen. And there's a couple of other things that are coming up, grants, to where we'll be able to work on a couple of other chapters that also include in the master plan to really make it thorough and complete. So I'll be able to let you know when all that happens.
Awesome.
Great.
Good news. Anything, Joe?
No, I'm good.
Mr. O'Mara, you have an update on our police chief?
I have two items I'd like to discuss with the board.
Sure.
I was originally going to go into non-public session to discuss the police chief recruitment, but since we don't have a candidate in mind, I just thought the community should be updated that this is the second time the board has extended an offer to a candidate for the chief who has ultimately declined. And it wasn't Newton. It was their current employers offering them $25,000 to stay.
Right.
And, you know, that's hard to compete with. We have an option to do a long-term contract for police administrative services with MRI. I'll say this kindly. I'd love to poach the incumbent, but I don't think that's going to happen. He's comfortable where he is working for MRI. So I guess I would ask for the board's permission to engage MRI once again to do a recruitment process so that we can get a police chief. Interestingly, all the candidates that you folks were interested in and thought would be a good fit are from out of state. That's a learning curve for anybody. And, you know, I think ideally we'd like somebody from New Hampshire that's already familiar with the laws, that's already certified, and can contribute in a manner that wouldn't require a large learning curve. So with your permission, I can communicate with MRI that would like them to repost the position on their website, NHMA, New Hampshire Municipal Association's website, and start the process over again. And I know it's been exhausting for you the amount of time that you have to dedicate to this particular process. It's probably one of the most important positions in any community, and you want to make sure you have the right person doing that job and is a good fit for Newton and what the residents are expecting. So,
I will say that the further we keep going, the more I like the people we try to hire, right? I guess the last one we tried to hire, I liked it really a lot, more than the last one we tried to hire, so maybe the third time's the charm. I mean, I totally get it. I think we only need general consent. You guys are all good with them advertising?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, you're good.
I just want to put it out there too, that there's been some false information that's from people who have no idea what really is going on in their, and it kind of perturbs me that people have their own private agendas and they throw false information out there, and they mislead the public, that our current police chief is working part-time. So the money that he's being paid and the money that we're going to be paying MRI to pursue another police chief, we're actually not even overspending what that position would be, the town would be paying for if there was a full-time police chief involved. So we're not sitting up here frivolously throwing the town's money around like a bunch of drunken sailors, that we're actually being quite responsible with your money because it's our money also. And we are trying to do our due diligence, as we always explain to, and we always sit here with open transparency about what it is that we're trying to do and the services that we're trying to provide for this town that these people deserve. So,
if I may just expand on that briefly, Mr. Chairman. We are not paying benefits, health insurance. We're not paying New Hampshire State Retirement. We are paying a contracted price per hour for services rendered. At the end of the day,
And that's the end of it. Like, that's the, you know.
it costs less at the end of the day when you don't have those roll-ups involved in it. But it's critical that we move forward. I guess primarily, not just for the community, but for the stability of the department.
yep.
You know, they're looking for, as much as they appreciate what's being done currently, they need some long-term investment.
Absolutely.
And they can feel grounded again and start moving in the direction that the new chief would want them to go in. But again, from a financial perspective, it's not costing the town more money.
I would like to say, and I don't know if we said it last meeting, but this meeting, and I'm probably gonna post it on Facebook, that as of last meeting, when we swore in that lady, we are fully staffed at the police station. Fully staffed. So anybody who says, oh, do we even have policemen anymore? We do. We are fully staffed, and you have seen them. I've seen them. Mr. Chairman, could you update us on how we're gonna proceed with the public hearing and all the other stuff with the communications tower?
Last week, we had a department head meeting, and I invited the successful vendor to the meeting in the hopes that the folks in the room who know much more about the town than I do would be able to engage him in conversation. He does not have a timeline as we speak, but I am going to contact him and tell him we're going to need a timeline of what his expectations are. We're going to need a contract that we can send to town council. And I really would like Robin and I to be able to post a public hearing so that anybody that has anything to say related to the communications tower project will have an opportunity to be heard. I do intend on inviting the vendor to that meeting, and I will make sure that he's prepared, because I'm sure it's not the first time he's met with some resistance related to the proximity of a communications tower to homes, residences, and other buildings. And your commitment to making sure that everybody has an opportunity to have a say will take place in this room at a duly posted public hearing.
Okay, good. I think that is it, gentlemen. With that said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
and go into non-public session under RSA 91-A.
We don't need to, not tonight.
No
We're
non-public.
not gonna
good.
do it?
Nope, we're good. Motion made by Joe to adjourn, all in
Second.
favor, second by